The Possession of Hannah Grace is a horror drama starring Shay Michelle, Kirby Johnson, Lewis Hurtham, and Gray Damon. The story is about a young girl called Hannah Grace, played by Kirby Johnson, who dies when an exorcism on her goes horribly wrong. But killing Hannah doesn't release her from the spirit that has possessed her body. Months later, her cadaver ends up at a morgue where Megan Reed, played by Shay Michelle, has recently taken up the night shift. Now, Megan has demons of her own. She has recently quit her career as a policewoman due to an incident that left her traumatized. To cope with her PTSD, she becomes addicted to drugs and needs to go to rehab. After that, Megan chooses an unusual job because she has encountered enough death and gore before, so she isn't exactly rattled by the prospect of working alone in a morgue. But of course, all that changes when Hannah's body shows up. Megan Reed has been given a compelling backstory that makes her character intriguing. It's easy to relate to her choices, and no matter how flawed she comes across, you want to root for her. Additionally, the creepy setting of a morgue, where Megan must work alone, also lends to an excellent atmosphere for a horror flick. And yet, as much as the film sets up its lead character and premise, it completely wastes any potential it had to be a creepy watch. This becomes particularly evident towards its third act when it ditches any pretense of being different and goes all out with the usual horror tropes that have plagued the genre overall. A jarring score, lazy camera work, and sloppy editing make almost all the scares increasingly predictable, to the point when you are waiting for the possessed woman to appear on cue, and she does. Although the cast doesn't have anything new or inventive to play with, Shay Michelle and Lewis Hurtham as Hannah's father put in the strongest work. Michelle is particularly effective in the lead role, which only adds to the inevitable frustration when the film drops the ball and commits to the usual scares that have now become synonymous with the possession horror subgenre. Seriously, there have been so many films recently dealing with possession and exorcism, and none of them are doing the horror genre any favors. The film also keeps changing Hannah's abilities as per the plot's convenience, with the hope of keeping the audience on the edge of their seats, but in reality serves merely to mask its lack of direction. I'm going with 2.5 stars for Possession of Hannah Grace. No matter how many inverted crosses, twisted limbs, and levitating bodies it threw at the screen, this one left me entirely unimpressed and goes right into the forgettable list of horror films. Guys, are you going to watch this film? If you do, let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, keep watching, it's entertainment, only on Mirror Now, you first.